Hello, and welcome to Bonchon Bite-Sized K-Drama Reviews. My name is Shannon, and today I am going to be talking about another drama that I had pinned my hopes on for a good 2025 release. That is Typhoon Family. Why were my hopes so high? Well, that would be because this is a Jun-ho drama. I knew he would be amazing because he is so dedicated to putting in good performances, but would the rest of the drama deliver? Typhoon Family began airing October 11th, 2025 and wrapped up on November 30th, 2025. It's a TVN show in Korea and I was able to watch it on Netflix in the US. This one is one of the rare 2025 releases that I watched that is 16 episodes long. It's weird how that's kind of a notable thing now, but that's just kind of how it's been going lately. It was directed by Ina Jung, who has directed some recognizable dramas such as See You in My 19th Life, Love Alarm, Fight for My Way, and Oh My Venus. It was written by Jang Hyun, and this is the only screenwriting credit I could find to her name. According to a translated article from the Korean site Dong-ah, she is quoted as saying the drama was inspired by stories told by her seniors when she worked as a salesperson, a time when mobile phones weren't common. The goal was to capture the warmth and resilience of people during difficult times. And according to production notes, the team even interviewed people who lived through the 1997 financial crisis to better understand and depict the social atmosphere and hardship realistically. So, who is in it and where might you know them from? Well, the male lead is played by Jun-ho, and I will try and be objective about his performance in the drama, but everyone should know that I love him. I love him as an idol, and I love him as an actor. I could spend this whole podcast gushing about how much I love Jun-ho, but I'll try and keep the praise to just this drama. So, yes, Jun-ho began his career as an idol in 2PM. He started acting around 2013, and since then he has been in dramas such as Good Manager, Just Between Lovers, Walk of Love, The Red Sleeve, and King the Land. Bonus fact for you all, he is also the man in Gil Che's dream from the first episode of My Dearest. Our female lead is played by Kim Min-ha. The role was originally offered to Gum Se-rock, but she had to drop out for scheduling reasons. It's almost unbelievable to think that Kim Min-ha was not the first choice because she is also an astounding actress. She has been in the Apple TV series Pachinko, as well as the K-dramas Light Shop and Way Back Love, which also aired in 2025. Way Back Love aired in 2025, that is. The drama has quite a lot of supporting characters in it as well. There's definitely going to be someone else in the cast that you recognize. For example, there's everyone's favorite grandmother, Kim Young-ok. There's also Kang Sang-ho, who you might recognize as an evil shaman from 2025's The Haunted Palace, but he has also been in Sweet Home, Kingdom, and Bring It On Ghost. All right, I'm going to give a brief synopsis that I grabbed from my drama list. Set in 1997, while the South Korean economy was going through an economic crisis, Kang Tae-pung's father runs a small company called Typhoon Trading Company. Due to his wealthy father, Kang Tae-pung lives a carefree life, but the worst economic crisis changes everything. While the economic crisis hits Typhoon Trading Company, Kang Tae-pung's father passes away. Kang Tae-pung is determined not to let the company, which his father loved like his own family, go bankrupt. Oh Mi-sun is the eldest daughter in her family and carries the burden of her family on her shoulders. She works as a bookkeeper at Typhoon Trading Company, but dreams of being a trader. The two of them work together to save the company. Lee Jun-ho plays Kang Tae-pung. We meet him as a carefree young person who comes from privilege. However, once the 1997 crisis hits and his father dies, he steps up to try and save the company. We see right away that Taepong has a huge heart and will go out of his way to help friends and family. He's friendly, good-natured, and incredibly sincere with a tendency to wear his emotions openly. As the drama goes on and he faces challenge after challenge, we see that he is also a very determined person. Oh Mi-sun is played by Kim Min-ha. She is a bookkeeper for Typhoon Trading and is a hard worker. She's very practical and diligent in her work. She is the oldest daughter in her family, so a lot falls on her shoulders as she cares for her younger sister, school aged brother, and a grandmother with dementia. She's very good at holding things down and keeping things together, which works well against Taepung, who is more of a dreamer. The biggest antagonists in the drama are the father and son at P.O. Merchant Marine. The father is basically everything Taepung's father wasn't. He is very calculating and strategic without considering any of the people involved in whatever he's doing. He deeply cares about keeping power and money. His son, Pyo Hyun-jun, is equally as ruthless and maybe a bit crazy. So, who's this drama for? This drama is for people who want warm stories about people experiencing struggles and personal growth. It is very nostalgic for people who lived through the late 90s, even if you didn't live in Korea. Just showing how things were done without cell phones, how the internet wasn't used like it is today, and how business moves slower than it does today is enough to invoke nostalgia in anyone who remembers what it was like. It reminded me of 1998 in that way. I didn't live in Seoul in the 80s either, but I can appreciate the sense of nostalgia it taps into. Speaking of Reply 1988, I would say if you liked the characters growing into maturity via hardships, then you might appreciate this drama. There is a heartwarming romance, although at times it does take a back seat to more of the workplace drama. This is also a must watch for any Jun-ho fan. Playing this character gave him an opportunity to really showcase what he's got. He's so charismatic, hopelessly in love, and vulnerable at times. It was amazing to watch him as you can clearly see that he spent a lot of time building this character. But let's not leave out Kim Min-ha. She also did a great job playing a very grounded and hardworking character. Like I said, the performances make this drama great. The looks Jun-ho gives Minha is enough to make anyone melt. But I'll also say the character arcs themselves were consistent. You can see the characters growing episode to episode. There's also a lot of richness in the story. We get resilience, identity, the pressure of expectations, and love for family, both blood family and work family. I want to also shout out how good the production team made the sets look. Lots of details helped to sell that this drama was set in the late 90s. It helped make the drama feel more real. Okay, here is where I'm going to bring up the thing that made people drop this drama. While the storytelling is good, it did tend to repeat itself and drag on a bit. For a stretch of episodes in the middle, it felt like the Typhoon trading team was never going to get a win. It felt like there was hope, they worked hard, then something would ruin it. Repeat that a few times. It was a lot of financial stress, self doubt, and company struggles without the plot really moving forward. This also took focus away from the romance that was there. I know I wanted a lot more of Taepong and Misun. I wish there was less business stuff and more time spent with the two of them, but also with the other secondary characters. People like Taepong's mother and her relationship to Misun's younger brother. Misun's sister also has a romance story of her own that could have used more screen time. So, if you're looking for something fast paced, you'll want to skip this one. Same for if you are romance focused only. Definitely avoid if you don't like workplace dramas. But there aren't really any K drama specific tropes to be found here. Instead, we get some tropes like riches to rags, the other way around, the dutiful sister, and fish out of water in the workplace. And okay, this isn't a trope, but maybe it should be. We get an English speaker who clearly does not speak English and who you need to read the subtitles for. Um, there's also one amazing scene where they're in a crowded subway and get jostled together. I don't know if that's really a trope, but it was a great moment. I will say that. I get that this drama lost people along the way because it felt like the team was never going to get a win and that they were kind of going in circles. However, for most of the drama, I enjoyed watching them deal with obstacle after obstacle. If I could have chopped 4 episodes and made it 12, I think that would have improved the pacing of the story and we could have gotten the team on their way to victory much sooner. Or keep it at 16 episodes, but devote more time to the side characters and the romance. However, the stellar performances from Lee Jun-ho and Kim Min-ha kept me compelled to watch every week. Jun-ho sold his character to me, and I kept watching it for him. So I think I'm going to land at a 7.5 finger hearts for Typhoon Family. Great cast with an interesting premise, but the writing did let it down a little in the middle. So what do you think? Will you give this nostalgia-fueled drama a try? Are you as big of a Lee Jun-ho fan as me? If you are, then go ahead and give this one a watch. And if you are one of the ones that gave this drama a pass or dropped it at some point, but still love Jun-ho, then we are in luck because the K-drama gods are giving us another drama of his called Cashero that is set to air on December 26th on Netflix. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it may be dropping all at once. But don't quote me on that. I have some vacation time after Christmas, so I know what I'll be doing. Thank you for those of you who have rated the podcast. If you're on the Spotify app, you can do this on the podcast page. Tap the 3 vertical dots, which bring up a menu, and select Rate Show. In the Apple Podcast app, search for the show and go to its page. Scroll down to the Ratings and Reviews section. Tap a star to rate it. I'd also love to know where I can connect with listeners online. As always, thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, if you'd like to share your thoughts, opinions, and suggestions for future episodes, you can find me on Instagram at bonchonkdramapod or email bonchonkdramapod@gmail.com. Thanks so much. Bye.